Vayeilekh Moshe ve'Hoshua. And Moshe and Joshua went, Vayitziatzavu, and they took their stand, the Ohel Moed, at the tent of meeting. So what's up with this kavavu here? Approached your days approached. Okay, I got some of my animations out over there. So, in Midrash Devarim Rabbah, forget the G, that's an accident there. 9:1, the rabbis say that God finds it hard to decree death upon the righteous. Whence this? For it is said, grievous in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. Psalms 116, verse 15. And this is the proof. God should have spoken to Moses thus, behold, you are about to die. God, however, did not speak in this way, but spared him and attached death to the days. So instead he says, whence this? From what we read about the matter, behold, your days approach to die. It's like the days of the things dying. So God didn't want to say death too close to Moses. So instead, the Midrash is saying he's put it, even in speaking in the Hebrew, God had to separate out Moshe's death because he doesn't like the death of his saints. He tries to extend it. Jem says, what do you think, Rabbi? Come here in verses 12 and 13, state, hear and learn to fear the Lord your God instead of love, which also connotes obedience to Hashem. Yeah, they're different avenues to the same thing, I think, right? Studying His Torah teaches us the fear of the Lord, and loving Him is a true expression of understanding Him with fear, right? So getting to know Him, getting to know you, getting to know all about you, right? So as we learn His words, we're getting closer to Him, we're learning who He is, we're learning what He desires for us, and at the same time, that fosters both love and fear. Both events come from studying the Torah. We learn to fear Him, and we also learn to love Him, right? Yeah, nice question there, Jim. Okay, and down here, this part, Ve'atzavenu, and I will command him. Rashi says, really, what God is saying here is that I might encourage him, right? So to get commands directly from Hashem is going to be an encouragement to Yehoshua. And we end the verse 14 with, Be'ohel Moed, at the tent of meeting. And that's an interesting comments I want to share with you about this. Again, we turn to T-Guys, good commentaries sometimes. And he makes a point here. Actually, I'm not sure if we have time to go into all of this. Let me check our time. Yeah, we don't really have time. So he's basically just saying there's an opinion that there was the Ohel Moed, there's the tent of meeting, and then there's the Mishkan, right? That they're two separate locations, right? The Ohel Moed, what's pre-existed, and where God would just go to meet God. Moshe would go there to meet God sometimes. But if it's an intense meeting, then he had to go inside of the actual Mishkan. That's what that comment's about. And verse 14, I think this is the last that I'm going to do. Oh, no, it's not the Soph Pasuk yet. Okay, one more. I mean, not the Seder marker yet. Well, let me just check. I'm sure we're okay on time. Okay, one more after this, I think. Then I get some stuff I can cut out. Okay. Vayomer Adonai Moshe. Then Hashem said to Moshe, oh, we just saw this. Okay, why am I? Oh, maybe I have more notes on the same thing. Let's see. No. Okay, looks like I duplicated the slide. All right, we're closer to the end than I thought. Okay, let me see. I'm going to skip past some slides here. I really have. Yep, that's the same. Okay, yeah. Okay, you can skip. Let me see if this is needed. I'll just put the notes up there. If someone wants to take a screenshot, I'm not going to go through the slide here. More about taking our stand and positioning ourselves to receive instructions from God. You have to be prepared. We have to have our purity and our holiness and our position in life all worked out, like where we are located. We have to have some musar, discipline. Hit yatsev, to take our stand, hit yatsev. And you see I've kind of got it colorized throughout there. And we see Moshe going to a particular place, and this can also be good for us to discipline ourselves in such a way. From the Haftarah, this. Kol Adonai, thus says Adonai, thus said Adonai, Shimru Mishpat, safeguard justice, V'asu tzedakah, and do tzedakah. Right? Tzedakah, this can mean many things. It can mean do that which is right, that which is just. Tzedakah is the feminine form of tzedek, as in we have tzedek tirdof, justice you shall pursue. Or this can actually be charity, and do charity. Why? Ki kerovah Yeshuati, because my victory, my salvation, kerovah, has approached. Right? And I've colorized here Yeshua. Right? So there's a nice little double entendre. Once you know his name is Yeshua, and not Yahushu, and not Yahushuhu, and not Yahishuhua, and not Yashuhuhu, or any of these other crazy names people are inventing. His name's Yeshua, okay? There's no scholarly question that his name is Yeshua. You might have a slight variation on pronunciation, right? But none of this, Yahashuhu or anything like that, okay? So when you recognize that Yeshua, meaning salvation, is the name, then you get all of these beautiful double entendres in the Psalms and the prophets, especially we have these messianic verses and stuff, and we basically have the Messiah name by name in those verses, which is quite incredible. So, my Yeshua has approached. Lavo, to come in, v'tzidkati, and my justice or my righteousness, lehigalot, to uncover, to reveal, to cause to be revealed. This is similar to the Hebrew name for the book of Revelation. Ashrei enosh, ya'aseh zot. Ashrei, blessed, happy, lucky is the enosh. This is a poetic form in Hebrew for Adam, but a normal Jewish Aramaic word, just meaning man. Blessed is the man. Ya'aseh zot, who does this. And by the way, having enosh here, this might be another kind of a slight Gezeira shava to connect us again to Mashiach. So Mashiach, his title, which he refers to himself again and again, is the Aramaic term Bar Enosh. It says he's the Bar Enosh, the Son of Man. Right? So here we have a little hint about that. We have enosh, and over here we have Yeshua. Right? So I think this might be again hinting about the one who would ultimately reveal God's righteousness. His righteousness is Yeshua HaMashiach. Yaseh Zot, he will do this. Uven Adam, and the Son of Man, Yachazik ba, shall grasp onto it. Right? Shall grasp onto what? Yeshua. This is a feminine word, even though I think we're hinting about Mashiach. That's why it's ba, feminine. Let me diagram it so it's more clear for you visual learners. So the ba, ha, this part, it literally means her. And that's because this ending of Yeshua, this is feminine. It's feminine. We're going to grab onto God's Yeshua. We're going to grab onto Mashiach. Shomer Shabbat. Look at this. Safeguard the Sabbath. Mechalelo, from its being polluted. The Shomer Yadol. Oh, I'm sorry. He will safeguard. So again, this is referring to either the Ben Adam. He's the one who's going to Shomer Shabbat, the Son of Man, or it's ultimately referring back to this enosh, which is hinting about Mashiach, the Messiah. He will Shomer Shabbat. He will show us to safeguard the Sabbath. He himself will safeguard it. He will protect it from being polluted. And how does he protect it? One of the ways he protects it is by not allowing extra additions to be piled on that are too much for us to bear. If you're hungry in Shabbat, you can break off some corn and eat it. It's not true that it's avara to break something on Sabbath. You can do that. That is a mistake. That is a rabbinical mistake. The Messiah is the ultimate authority on what is the proper interpretation of the Torah, and there is none greater than his interpretation. There's some interesting notes there from Yomar if you guys want to check it out over in the chat. Veshomer yado me'asot kol ra. Now look at this. This is very interesting. You guys have learned about Hebrew parallelism. Even if you're not one of my Hebrew students, you've learned about this concept known as Hebrew parallelism. And what Hebrew parallelism does, it takes a concept like Shomer Shabbat Mechalalo, safeguarding the Sabbath from its being defiled, and it puts it in parallel with something else that further explains it. So this is one thing. What is this? What is keeping the Sabbath from being profaned? It's parallel to, and he will safeguard, he'll keep his hand from doing any kind of evil. Because violating the Sabbath is a kind of ra. You see? The Hebrew parallelism here connects these two concepts. Breaking the Sabbath is it's evil, according to the prophet Isaiah, which is amazing, as much as our Gentile brothers and sisters in the church love to quote from Isaiah and the various prophets, Jeremiah, how they look right past these sorts of things, that God is equivocating breaking the Sabbath day, polluting the Sabbath day, as an example of something that is ma'aseh, ra, which is a doing of evil, right? It's very clear, Hebrew parallelism, and then here we this is an end of a mark. I like to think of these as Selah markers, right? It's an end of the thought here, right? So we would actually, in a Torah scroll, we'd have some space between this verse and the next one usually. Okay? Yeah. Or maybe it's even hinting that Hashem is the one who went. And we just happen to mention, by the way, Moses and Joshua were there, right? So it could be something like this. And Yomar says that's Devarim 31, verse 14. Yeah, so I hope that's helpful interpretation. If not, then my bad. Hold on just a sec. Okay, excuse me. All right, so continuing on, let's actually go ahead. I think I have the time. Let's go ahead. Well, we'll see. I'm keeping a close eye. I'll let you guys out at 7. So, Ve'al yomar ben hanechar, and do not let him say, and he will not say to the foreigner. This is very interesting. Remember, if we're hinting about Yeshua is a light into the nations. This was one of the role of the Messiah. That even we have prophecies that say he would be rejected by his own, but he would be a light into the nations, right? And clearly, there's nobody that fits the bill so far as Messiah figures go, who were rejected by his own people and has become a light into the nations. I mean, you have billions of people who at least profess belief in the Messiah Yeshua today. But Al Yomar, do not let say, the subject is Ben HaNechar, the foreigner, literally the son of the foreigner, Hanilva, El Adonai, that he is attached unto Adonai. Then we're saying, Havdil, Yavdileni. Okay. So do not let the foreigner who is now attached to Adonai, so he's joined in. He was the son of a foreigner, but he's joined the Kahal, right? Don't let him say, don't let the Gentile person who believes in Mashiach say, Havdil Yavdileni Adonai me'alamo. Surely Adonai has separated me with his people, right? So this is when, I believe this is when people are making up excuses. I don't have to keep the Torah because I'm a goy. Right? Or technically the son of a goy. My parents grafted in with Israel, but, what's that have to do with me? So don't let the one who's been joined to Adonai separate from his people, is what it's saying. V'yal yomar hasaris heinani eitz yavesh. And do not also let, this is kind of hard, the eunuch, presumably, behold, I am a dry tree. So there's an interesting Hebrew parallel here. So when the son of a foreigner, when a ger says, when he's joined Israel, he's joined Adonai, says, surely I'm different from his people, right? I don't have to do that stuff. There's some kind of parallelism with a eunuch who says, I'm a dry tree, right? So I guess you can imagine an actual eunuch who was castrated against his will, feeling, what is my purpose in life? Why am I even here? Why can I exist? I'm a dry tree, right? So the text saying, don't say that. You still have a purpose. And it's interesting, we have in parallel this verse with the verse about the son of a foreigner who is already joined. He's already joined to Adonai, right? I.e. a follower of Yeshua who's supposed to have been brought in, but yet he's saying, I'm not part of the people of Israel. That's a Jewish thing to do. Jews do that, right? How often have you heard this from someone who is a Gentile believer? Oh, Yom Kippur is not for me. That's for Jews. Messiah paid all my debts. I don't have to do that stuff. That's commanded forever and ever and ever. That's not for me. And then we have the Selah marker. Think about it. Let's think about it. For thus or such said Adonai. Vasarisim, to those who are eunuchs. And this, I think this could be a metaphor, right? Those who are like a eunuch. Asher yishmeru, that they whom will safeguard Shabtotai, those eunuchs, or those people who are relating to eunuchs, i.e. those who joined Adonai, but they want to be separate from Israel, from his people, that Yishmeru et Shabtotai, they will safeguard my Sabbaths. Uvacharu v'asher chafatzti, and that they will choose in how I have delighted, meaning I'm delighting in them, that they've joined me, that they're the Ben Hanecha, who has joined to me. Umachazikim bivriti, and that even they now hold on to my covenant. V'natati lahem b'veiti u'vechomotai yad v'shem tov mibanim u'mibanot, and I will give to them in my house. Right, so this, of course, is eschatological language as well, right? Like, remember Psalm 1, the righteous man gets transplanted, right? He gets transplanted by the tributaries of rivers into the courtyards of Adonai. He will dwell for all days, right? So, even we get this in Psalm 23, right? That this person who has hoped in Adonai, the Good Shepherd, will be planted, will dwell in his courtyards for lengthy days, or meaning forever. So that I have set them, is one way to translate this. I have set them in my house and in my walls, in my chomot. Yad v'shem tov, a hand. Like, yad oftentimes can mean a portion. This probably means like a portion here. Like a portion, like an inheritance. V'shem tov, and a good name. A good name, right? We're going to get the new name, as Revelation says. Those born Jew and those born Gentile. We're all going, any of those who are Nikonti, who are victorious, we run the race, we get off our death, and we actually do something in response to the gift of salvation, we will be given a new name. A Olama Kaine, Shem Tov, a good name, from sons and also from daughters. It means it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. Anyone who does this, who clings to my covenant, will be given a good name. Shem Olam, an eternal reputation, or an eternal name. Eten, I will give lo to him. Asher lo yikaret, which shall not be cut off. Nifal for you Hebrew students. Then our think about it, our Selah marker. And also for the sons of a foreigner who have joined themselves to Adonai, with Adonai, l'shato, to minister to him, u'lehava, and to love et Shem Adonai, to love his reputation, lichyot, to become lo, they will become lo for him, like belonging to him, la'avadim, as servants. Kol shomer Shabbat, anyone who keeps the Sabbath, mechalalo, from profaning it, umachazikim bivriti, and who clings to my covenant. Look at this beautiful inclusio. This is called an inclusio in poetic language. We have up here, shomer Shabbat umechalalo, the shomer, la la la, and then we end up having the brit. Mention the brit. Where is it mentioned? Yachazik ba, referencing, we get the brit here in a little bit. And then down here we have shomer Shamat, Mechalalo, umachazikim bivrit. Oh, here it is. Umachazikim bivrit. Right? I delight. Hashem delights in us. It's hard for me, that color. El har kodshi, v'simchati, b'veit tefilati, olotehem, v'zivchayhem, neratzon al mizbechi, ki veiti beit tefilah, yikarei lechol hamim. Really, really beautiful. Then I will bring them to my holy mountain, Har Kodshi, literally my mountain of holiness, and I will make them glad. We are told that he will wipe away all of our tears, right? In Olam Haba, both the Jew and the Bnei Hanechar, who have decided to join themselves to Hashem, to keep his Shabbat, and to safeguard the covenant. In my house of prayer, the Veit Tefilati, literally the house of my prayer, Olotehem, their whole burnt offerings, and Zivchayhem, their sacrifices will be pleasing. They will be accepted, is one way to interpret this. Upon my altar, Al Mizbechi, Ki beiti, from my house, beit tefillah, is a house of prayer. It shall be called Lechol ha'amim, for all of the peoples. This means for representatives of all the peoples. All those who machazikim, who cling to briti, my covenant. Cling to it with joy. Narrow is the way which leads to olam haba, but wide is the way that leads to destruction. Nelly asks, what are violations on Shabbat other than work? You can't start fire, right? You cannot start a fire on Sabbath. So you don't start your stove to cook something, yeah? You do not make another person angry on Shabbat. And you try very hard not to be angry yourself. And we're also told, titaneg b'yom Shabbat, you shall delight yourself on the Sabbath day. So you are to proactively try to keep yourself from negative thoughts, try to keep yourself from depressing things, try to be happy, try to delight in it, to let it be a release for the bite, for a release for joy, the Sabbath day. And it's at 7:01. I hope you don't mind. We'll go a few more minutes. I'm almost finished. I'll skip the next slide. We'll skip right to the last slide, actually. I have a couple more, but we can skip. This one was just so important. I didn't realize how important it was until I got deep into it. Isaiah 56 from the Haftarah here. I mean, look at that. How could you read that and not see it's one about Yeshua? Look up here, Yeshua. He's the one who draws near. That's my righteousness that will be uncovered. The bar enosh. Here we got Ben Adam, son of man. And here we have the Aramaic term, even the enosh. All these Gezeira Shavot hints about HaMashiach. And about those who think that they should not do the law, but really they're invited. Come on in. Come do it. Come keep the Moedim. Keep Shabtotai, he says. Keep my Sabbaths. Keep my appointed times. I will give you a new name. He's defining for us, in part, what it means to be victorious. Yeah, Dr. Vera, that's right. That's good. It's a remez interpretation, right? That we're not supposed to start a fire. The remez meaning is not to be hot, right? And that means to be angry in Hebrew. That's how you say to be angry, right? Not to be hot, right? So the bashat meaning, the plain meaning, which we take literally, is don't literally start fires, right? Don't do that. But also don't make someone hot, i.e. don't make them angry. Thanks for that, Dr. Vera. Yeah. I think we covered it. If I missed something, somebody chime in there, right? All right. I hope you guys absorbed this. I think this is really powerful, his multiple layers in the scriptures. Okay, we'll skip our extra biblical Tobit today. Yom Kippur alert! Yom Kippur alert! Yom Kippur alert! Wednesday, September 15th at sundown is Yom Kippur. Concludes September 16th when you can see 3 stars. Wednesday night to Thursday night is Yom HaKippurim. No food, no water. You shall afflict your nefesh, your life force. Just to finish up here, from Hosea, one of the Shabbat Shuva readings, 14:2-4. Take with you words and return to Adonai. Say to him, take away all iniquity except what is good, and we will pay with bulls the vows of our lips. Assyria shall not save us. We will not ride on horses, and we will say no more, our God, to the work of our hands. In you, the orphan finds mercy. I will heal their apostasy. I will love them freely, for my anger has turned away from them. Please be careful. We've got until Wednesday night, and the important parts of the year are written in his book. You know, some people say there's predestination, some say it's free will. Really, both are true. Both are true. There's a level of predestination. He won't let things get in the way when he decrees it needs to be so. If you're guilty and you deserve to be punished this next year, and you deserve to have a bad year in relationship, in money, like finance, in health, in whatever, If you deserve it, there's still a chance. You have a few days left in these days of awe. Seize those days. Machazikim bevriti. Seize onto my covenant. There's still time. Shake up that laziness. Get up. And determine to live better this year. Determine that, tell Adonai, I'm not going to be this way anymore. I identify it. I don't want to be lazy about your Sabbath. I want to really, really live. And I want to have a unique life. I want to have a life that is precious, that you want to give me this name. I want to cling to your Messiah, and I want to emulate him. I want to live the way that he would live. Avinu Malkeinu, our Father and our King, Ken Yichatzon ki bashavua hazot titen et chokhmatecha al kol talmudai Adonai v'gam alai bi Adonai tzalach lanu Adonai mechatotenu tzalach lanu melev valev asher yesh banu כי אנחנו יכולים לראות את פניך וגם את אורך אשר נתת לנו ליבינך. Father, may it be your will that these next few days before Yom Kippurim, that you would help us all to be motivated, that we might have your wisdom, that we might turn to you, that we might see the light of your face and the emanation of the light that is in your Son, Yeshua. Shake us up. Uri, Uri. Stir up, O Lord, stir up that fire that once was in us that has become extinguished in too many. Help us to be excited and to see things with new eyes. We give you praise and glory in advance, and we believe you for it by the merit of your Son, Yeshua Mashiach. All right. Shavuot Tov. Everybody have a great week.
Shavuot Tov, Rabbi.
Shavuot Tov.
Shavuot Tov, Rabbi.
Shavuot Tov.
Shavuot
Shavuot Tov.
תודה רבה.
בבקשה.